Again, welcome to Gashis Kaman TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. What we are seeing in Kenya today is Raila spirit. When Herman Manyora, the professor in the University of Nairobi, said that Raila is a spirit, many Kenyans did not understand what he meant. And there was a lot of arguments. He had a hell of time trying to convince people that Raila is a spirit. You cannot fight Raila Amolo Odinga. When Raila Amolo Odinga was actually rigged out of the 2022 general election, I knew it was not over. I knew Raila had lost the battle, but not the war. I knew that we are headed for a very interesting time. When Raila Amolo Odinga was quiet, he knew that Kenyans would be fed up with William Samoei Ruto. In fact, a number of Kenyans were complaining that Raila haongei. Hata hapa kwa mitandao, hata katika channel hii, tulikuwa tunaona watu wengi wakiuliza maswali mengi. Kwa nini Raila haongei? Where is Raila in all this? Why is he not talking about the high cost of living? Why is he not talking about the finance bill? And even many journalists, when they were called to interview Raila Amolo Odinga, walikuwa wanataka kuona maoni yake. But Raila has been very elusive. And some of them even accusing him of going to bed with William Samoei Ruto and betraying people. But Raila knew very well what he was doing. He knew that people watapata kile ambacho walikitaka, na he knew very well that William Samoei Ruto was going to fail. Kenya Kwanza in general was going to fail because from all angles it was an oppressive regime. From the beginning, William Samoei Ruto did not believe in this constitution. He opposed the constitution, and Raila Amolo Odinga knew this. And when you look at it, although William Samoei Ruto was saying that he had a plan, for sure when you look at it, he didn't have any plan. He didn't have any plan, because if there was any, it was just about taxing Kenyans. And Raila Amolo Odinga alijua vizuri sana ukupigao ndio ukufunzao. He knew very well that it is this pain point that was going to awaken Kenyans. Na wakati ambapo Wakenya waliamka, wakati ambapo Wakenya walianza kuzungumza, wakati sasa wamejitokeza, ni kwa sababu ya the pain that they are experiencing. Wakati ambapo vijana walianza kuzungumza, wakajitokeza hadharani, wakajitokeza mitaani, wakaanza kuonyesha ya kwamba wamechoka. Unajua, Raila Amolo Odinga has always been telling Kenyans that Puda amechoka. Lakini mimi niko naambia kwamba Puda amekufa. And Raila Amolo Odinga retreated. In fact, when he decided to go to that post of African Union, many people did not understand why he was going. In fact, many people were left accusing him. But what he was doing, he was leaving the space. You know, nature has vacuum. And he knew very well that vijana wengine wangejitokeza pale. In fact, many people thought akina Babu Owino are the people who are going to fill the space. But Raila had always said one thing. He had always told Kenyans one thing. That wakati vijana wataanza kulalamika, itakuwa vigumu kukabiliana nao. And Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, who appears to have had God message to the people of Kenya. Because when you look at what Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had always been saying, kwanza alikuwa amezungumzia hii mambo ya vijana. Vijana ni nguvu ambazo zimezidi nguvu. Wasipoangalia vizuri, they can ripuka anytime. And for sure, they have erupted. They have erupted, and he said very clearly that if they erupt, inaweza kuwa vigumu sana kukabiliana na hali hii. And that is where William Samoei Ruto is finding himself in. Again, Raila Amolo Odinga knew very well that what Kenya Kwanza was promising Kenyans, it was unachievable, or something that could not be achieved. So he allowed them to continue lying to Kenyans. He allowed them to continue giving false hope, false promises. Like now you know very well that William Samoei Ruto had promised Kenyans, tuseme kwa mfano, tuko tu mfano mbili mitatu. He had promised Kenyans that just the other day aliambia watu wa bodaboda sijui ikifika sijui mwezi wa 5 we shall have cheap electric motorcycles. And when you look at it now, utaona kwamba the business of motorcycle is literally collapsing in Kenya with so many shops closing, wengine relocating to Tanzania. And if you look at the number of motorcycles on our roads, they are diminishing. The number is diminishing every day. The number is shrinking every day. So then Kenyans ask themselves, where are these electric motorcycles that he promised? And then again, William Samoei Ruto again came up with the issue of the gas. Akabia watu gasi, watu watakuwa kinunua shilingi 500, kisha akashuka tena akasema ni shilingi 300. Again, it looked like William Samoei Ruto has been playing with Kenyans minds. Sasa ukiangalia ile mambo ya kuambia watu utakuwa unafinya computer pale alafu dollars zinachomoka. You see, now the youth are fed up. And Raila Amolo Odinga knew very well that what William Samoei Ruto was doing was unachievable. And when a leader doesn't have a dream, when a leader doesn't have a vision, it becomes very hard for him. Because when you look at Kibaki had a vision. So what Kibaki was doing was just to implement the vision. If you look at Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta continued with the legacy of Mwai Kibaki. He could have failed here and there, but he tried a lot. He tried. At least we could see things were moving. At least he tried to stabilize things. But now when William Samoei Ruto came, he told Kenyans that hii mafuta ambayo mnanunua ilikuwa inapanda kwa sababu ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. And Kenyans knew very well that these people that you are seeing in Kenya Kwanza were also in Jubilee. They were also in Jubilee, and they are part and parcel of whatever was happening then. In which case, whatever was happening then was far much better than what we're experiencing today. When William Samoei Ruto started telling Kenyans that he was going to take them kule kufanya kazi kule Marekani, kule Ujerumani, sijui anakuambia sijui Korea inataka sijui watu, Ujerumani inataka 2000 Kenyans, sijui Dubai nini. And we knew there was a problem because many economists would start asking the questions. Why not attract investors to come and open business in Kenya so that they can provide employment for Kenyans who are living in Kenya? You see, these are the questions that many people are asking. And now Kenyans, kile ambacho kimefanyika ni kwamba they have despaired. And now, people have now come to understood that Raila Amolo Odinga, whatever he has been fighting for, is something that is genuine. Because Raila has been fighting for democracy. He has been fighting for justice. He has been fighting for the respect of human rights. Today, if you look at members of parliament, they have nowhere to hide. Kwa sababu ya vijana. Wengine wakijitokeza pale, vijana wanajitokeza na wanaanza, they start shouting them down. Because they don't see them as good leaders. They're not examples of good leaders. They are not honest. If you look at, for example, those who come from Mount Kenya, you see, most of them voted for the bill. But now when you come to the ground, the situation is very different. This is not what you find. You find people who are very angry, people who do not support the finance bill. But what you see, when you see these members of parliament voting for this bill, no, you are now injecting Kenyans with a painful injection. Ni kama mnauliza mtadu, because you are telling Kenyans that we don't represent you. We don't represent you. And unajua inafika mahali ambapo watu wanaona vile ambavyo hawa watu wanaishi maisha mazuri. If you look at them, some of them live in palatial homes. Okay, wengine ukiangalia utaona kwamba vile ambavyo hata wanavalia, mavazi ambayo wanavalia inatosha kuwalisha maskini kwa miaka na mikaka. Zulia ambazo wanakanyaga, yani ile mikeka inafaa kuwafariji maskini miaka mingi. I know of a 94-year-old man in Nyandarua County who does not get money for the aged people. Yet he fought for this country. He depends on well wishers. So, nani anakula hizi pesa? Kwa hivyo wakati ambapo Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta alijitokeza pale hadharani kuanza kulalamika, wakati huo ndio sasa kitubua kiligia mchanga kabisa. And that is why William Samoei Ruto moved very fast to contain the situation. So when Raila Amolo Odinga's spirit continued to hover around the country, it is hovering because of a disputed election. One thing I would like you to look at, if you look at Wafula Chebukati, where is he today? Where is Wafula Chebukati? How comes he's not happy? He's not a happy man. If you look at William Samoei Ruto, if you look at Kenya Kwanza, it is in serious problems. If you look at Kenya Kwanza, utaona kwamba ni watu ambao wako katika hali tete kabisa. Hali si hali, ukiangalia utaona kwamba they are having sleepless nights. They don't know how to handle the situation. Initially, the issue of finance bill was something that was easily understood by Kenyans, and things were not as murky as they are today. Today, any move, because people are educated now, because we have so many people who are jobless, and they have spent a lot of money, and William Samoei Ruto is not offering the solution. That's why you see people coming out of the street. Again, when you look at what is happening in our country, something is also very wrong with our leaders. They don't respect the voters. In fact, they are the bosses. Kenyans every Sunday are seeing these leaders from Kenya Kwanza dishing out millions and millions of money in harambes, in churches. And this is our money. People can see, can hear in the county government, they can hear the governors complaining, the workers going for many months without pay. They can see this. Parents can see that Edu Afya is now a thing of the past. An insurance that was given to high school students by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. They can see all this. And Kenyans now are even doubting if William Samoei Ruto really won the elections. And I think we should also demand the opening of the servers. Let the servers be opened. Because I know whenever wakati kuna kuwa na vita kati ya wema na mabaya, daima wema utashinda. Show me any one instance when evil defeated goodness. Even when you look at the contest between the prophet of Baal and Elijah to the contest who was the true God, the true God, the little God, Yahweh, won. Huo ni ukweli. Ukitazama wakati ambapo Yesu alikuwa, when he was being tempted by the devil, finally he won. Even when he was crucified on the cross, he defeated death. Hakuna wakati ambapo wema utashindwa na mabaya. Kwa hivyo, kati ya Wakenya na serikali, who is right? That's a question I would pose to our viewers today. Who is right? Do you think the Generation Z, the so-called Gen Z, and the millennial guys, do you think they have a valid point? Do you think they have a valid case? Because I see a lot of detachment between the electorate and their leaders. I see a lot of detachment between the executive and wananchi ambao wameweka pale mamlakani. And I think William Samoei Ruto need also to calm down. Need to calm down and show respect to the voters. Kwa sababu huwezi ukaambia ati utaendelea what Kenya Kwanza has been doing has been forcing policies and laws in the throats of Kenyans. Like, for example, this housing levy was forced down the throats of Kenyans. Hakuwa wanataka, and they were told that this was going to create employment. Sasa wanauliza kazi ziko wapi? And then what was the need of people going all the way to university alafu ishie kazi za mijego? These are the questions that are making Kenya come out and start demanding their rights. I don't know what you think, but from where I sit, it is important to know that when you see a toad running in the daytime, something is after its life. And an old goat does not just bleat. When you see an old goat bleating, come out and see what is happening. Me and you, guys, is Kaman TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. You can't fail to like this video, guys. Support this channel so that we can keep on discussing issues. So that is Raila's spirit that is fighting now for truth and justice and reconciliation. Bye-bye.